Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34 and welcome to another video. And I guess welcome to just another random video out of the blue. Please excuse this thing here. It's like a little scrape thing on my head. For some reason, like not that long ago, I broke out into like some sort of like red bumps on my forehead and they all went away. And this was like one of them, and for some reason it left like a mark and it's just like a scab. So hopefully that clears up very soon. So please, if anybody's wondering what that is, before I go on with the video, but this is actually going to be a response video to a really great friend of mine on here, Lauren, also known as Lauren's Collection, here on YouTube. If you're a big horror collector or a big movie collector, you definitely got to go check out Lauren's channel. She has really great content, knows her stuff, and on top of that too, she has a little, I guess, like podcast. I want to know, like a podcast show, I guess you would call it. Like 2 episodes so far with her and and a friend of hers, Leon, who's a subscriber of mine as well. They do this little show together where they like talk about films they watch, like horror films, and they do separate episodes about like they talked about in one of the episodes they talked about like Happy Birthday to Me and Mandy, and they whatever films they watch throughout that week, they do like an hour long or so show talking about them. So definitely go check out her channel and also go check out Leon. I highly recommend you watch those 2 episodes as well. But not that long ago, Lauren did her top 10 favorite slasher movies. And I figured I would chip in as well. I realized that I did do a video on my top 10 slashers 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago. But my list has changed since. I'm still going to keep that video up, but this is the brand new list of my top 10 favorite slashers. So before I get on to the top 10, though, I figured I'd mention a couple of honorable mentions first before I get to the top 10. Now, all the films I pretty much have, but I didn't pull some of them out because they're kind of a pain in the ass, because like getting all the Blu-rays out. But I do have a couple here that I wanted to show. But I do own all of the, well, except for one. But some of the ones that didn't make my list were Child's Play, Scream, Sleepaway Camp, Maniac Cop, of course the original Maniac with Joe Spinell, Intruder, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original Black Christmas, and the last one that didn't quite make it was actually one that I feel is underrated, is Hollow Man. That's a one I really enjoy, also Hollow Man. Now we are done with the honorable mentions. Now I figured let's get on to the top 10 now. Number 10 is maybe people might not consider this a slasher movie, but I actually think it actually is kind of a slasher film, and I really do love this movie. Number 10 is The Hills Have Eyes remake. What I love about the remake is, I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of the original Wes Craven from the 70s. I like Michael Berryman and Dee Wallace, but I just couldn't get into that one. This one, though, I thought was far better. I actually like the remake, how it's, they're actually mutants. Because I know in the original one, they were just kind of like, crazy looking people. While this one, they're mutants. And the story about a family going through the desert to cut through on a vacation. They get stuck in the desert, and there's these mutants out there living in the hills, and they get killed off one by one. I'll tell you what, I really like the end fight with Pluto and the character of Doug. And I think the cast does a great job. You got Ted Levine, Kathleen Quinlan. I really like Aaron Stanford as Doug. You also have Vanessa Shaw. Directed by Alexander Aja, who went on to do Crawl, Mirrors. He did High Tension before this. I think this is my personal favorite that he's directed. So, I love the Hills Have Eyes remake. Easily one of my favorites. Number 9, you would kind of consider this a slasher film, and I actually kind of do. It's a really underrated movie, and I don't have it because it's really rare and out of print, but I would love to, hopefully a Blu-ray of this comes out at some point, but Alone in the Dark. Not to be confused with the Uwe Boll movie. Not to be confused with that at all. Not based on the video game. This is a different Alone in the Dark. This is from 1982. And it's actually directed by Jack Sholder. This is before he did Elm Street 2. And this is the really cool concept for a movie where you have a bunch of escaped mental patients who escape this mental asylum and they start killing people in this town during a blackout. And the mental patients, you have Martin Landau, may he rest in peace. Jack Palance, may he rest in peace. I mean, Jack Palance, great actor. He was the bad guy in Tango and Cash and Young Guns, and he was in the Tim Burton Batman. Just a lot of other stuff. He's greatly missed. You also have Erland Van Lith as one of the other mental patients. He was the big prisoner guy in Stir Crazy. He was Dynamo in The Running Man. May he rest in peace as well. And you have another guy who's known as the Bleeder. He wears like this goalie-looking hockey mask, and his nose bleeds. That's why he's called the Bleeder. And basically, it's about Dwight Schultz as his new doctor that comes in. Dwight Schultz, of course, Murdoch from the 18 TV show. Donald Pleasance plays the main doctor who runs the asylum. And then there's this blackout, and the mental patients escape from the asylum, and they start terrorizing and killing people in the small town. And they try to find Dwight Schultz and his family, and they terrorize them. It's such a really well done slasher, and it's really great cast as well. Number 8 is kind of a weird, odd one, but I had to put it on there. April Fool's Day, the original, which I have on Scream Factory Blu-ray. I know a lot of people are not a fan of this one because they feel cheated because of the ending, and the ending, the twist, I think, is genius. It's about a bunch of people going to this island for one of their for a get together for a party, and then people start like disappearing, and the title says it all, like the whole twist. And I really like the cast. Amy Steele, Thomas F. Wilson, Deborah. Oh, what was her name? Deborah Foreman, Clayton Rohner. I really like the cast in here. And I mean, the twist alone just put it in my top 10. Even though it's not really considered slasher, it is under the slasher genre. So, number 7 for me is the original My Bloody Valentine. What more can I say about the original My Bloody Valentine? I have it from Scream Factory. Love the whole setting of the mines. Love the character of Harry Warden. Really great kills, like with the pickaxe and things like that. I absolutely love the original My Bloody Valentine. It's just a really great atmosphere too, with the whole mine. Number 6, of course, is the original Halloween. What more can I say about this that hasn't been said before? The original Halloween is an absolute classic. Number 5 is another one that I don't need to explain, but the original Nightmare on Elm Street. This is, of course, from the box set. I also have the film on Blu-ray for the other features, but still have the old box set, the original cover. I mean, what more can you say about the original Elm Street that hasn't been said before? It was the first introduction to Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. I mean, gave birth to one of the most legendary horror characters of all time. Number 4, I had to pick a Friday the 13th film, and this is my personal favorite of the franchise, so I had to put it in my top 10. Friday the 13th Part 4, The Final Chapter. Really excellent gore effects by Tom Savini. Really like the cast. I really like Kimberly Beck, Peter Barton, Crispin Glover, Corey Feldman. Directed by Joseph Zito. This is the same guy that worked with Chuck Norris a lot on Missing in Action. I think he did like Missing in Action and Invasion USA. He did Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren. So very solid director. I really like Ted White as Jason. And love the whole Jimbo and Teddy. Me and Alex have that inside joke between me and him. So I absolutely adore Friday the 13th Part 4. A lot of really great kills. Number 3, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the new Steelbook from Dark Sky Films. I mean, what more can I say about the original Chainsaw Massacre? I think this is without a doubt Tobe Hooper's masterpiece. I love the whole setting, and just like the way it's all gritty, and that scene where I think it was the character of Pam, Terry McMinn, where she gets grabbed by Leatherface and the door just slams shut. She's in that room with all the bones and feathers everywhere, and it's so well shot by Tobe Hooper. And Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface, may he rest in peace, is just legendary. Of course, Marilyn Burns played Sally, may she rest in peace. I mean, just really great scream queen when it comes to like Final Girls. Jim Seedale as the cook and Edwin Neal as the hitchhiker, and I mean, what more? I mean, classic movie. Number 2, I also have on Blu-ray, but I figured I'd just mention it. Candyman. Candyman is one of those slashers that it's not like it's gory. There are gore bits, but it's not like balls to the wall, over the top gore. Like certain scenes are gory, but it's not like a Jason movie or a Freddy film or things like that where it's just like kill here, kill there, kill here, kill there. This is much more of a slow burn slasher, and you don't really see Candyman until like almost an hour into the movie, and I'm fine with that because what I really like about slow burn horror films like Candyman or The Shining or The Changeling, if it's a really good story and it keeps me engaged and you have really good characters, a good cast, very solid direction, then it's very engaging. That's why films like The Changeling and The Shining and Candyman work as slow burn films, and especially Candyman. I love the whole setting of the Chicago projects, really creepy setting. Tony Todd as the Candyman is perfect. Love his voice, and he was born to play this role. Virginia Madsen as Helen does a great job as well. Bernard Rose really directed this film really well. Really great, really creepy sequences, like especially on the kids sitting on the toilet in the public bathroom, which always gets me still to this day. Tony Todd, of course, with the bees coming out of him and coming out of his mouth, and he opens up this jacket and you see like his rib cage, and you can see like the inside of his ribs and things like that, because it's so well done. I mean, one of the best horror films from the 90s, without a doubt. And of course, my number 1, I do have this on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, but I figured I'd show the DVD copy because it's a signed copy. I actually got this signed. But my number 1 favorite slasher film is The Burning. Easily my favorite slasher. I really like Lou David as Cropsy. I like the weapon of choice, the garden shears. And it's a pretty cool cast in here. You have Brian Matthews, Leah Ayres, who is in Bloodsport. You have Brian Backer from Fast Times at Mark Ratman from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. A lot of other cool people like Jason Alexander way before Seinfeld, and Holly Hunter, Fisher Stevens. Directed by Tony Maylam. Fantastic musical score. I like the whole keyboard sound effects on the soundtrack. Fantastic gore effects like the raft scene, and a lot of really the fingers being snapped off and the shears to the throat, and one girl gets her forehead split open. And the whole final battle between Cropsy and Alfred and the character of Todd, Brian Matthews, I love. Such a well done slasher. And that's my top 10 favorite slashers. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.